Welcome back, everybody, to another Jack with the Soccer Bro video here on JOSBSN. We are back with the Sandy Nanners this week, going up against the Pickle Spears, a team they 3-0'd earlier on in the season. However, this team is a very different composition to the one that they played earlier on, and the Sandy Nanners are also playing with 5, so let's see how that affects them tonight as we are already underway in this one. This one gets set up for Gavin. Gavin's going to hit that one far into the other side of the court. Hit up once again here. And sent over in a spot where Jack can't get to, and that was a funky little landing there. But the point will fall for the Pickle Spears, and Jack looks a little frazzle-dazzled already. It's been the first point, son. You can't get hurt that early on. Shaking that arm out, though, that wrist hand area maybe. As the serve is already up and underway, Max calls him off of that one. We'll see if that has any further effects later on in the game. He looks to be all right now as Gavin this time lands the point for the Sandy Nanners to tie it up at 1 apiece. Yeah, that might be something to keep an eye on later on in this one, as it is a 1-1 game earlier on in Game 1. 1-1 in Game 1 as Jack gets his first serves here. His typical overhand hard hit into the back row. And that one's going to fly out of bounds there on the spike attempt to give the Sandy Nanners their first lead of the game. Both teams have had a lead now earlier on, as the earliest possible opportunity for both teams to have a lead. Both teams have had a lead here. I'm just talking to talk. Another serve from Jack, same spot as before, and this time it is not going to be returned. 3-1, and that Jeep is gonna, Max's Jeep there is gonna eat up the ball. 3-1, might be a sec before we get this next serve underway here. Just bear with me for a sec. Actually, we could take this earlier on opportunity. Is a good time to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We are on our way to 1,000 now, almost at 7, as that serve is gonna be just short, hitting the bottom side of the net there from Jack. 3-2 now. We are on our way to 1,000 already. It's been good progress so far, so you guys can help keep that up if you're watching this. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more. Got some good content on the way, I guarantee it for you guys. As that serve is going to be short once again. 2 errant serves in a row now to make it a 4-2 game here. I'm choking. 4-2 game early on in this one. Aubrey getting her first chance to serve now. We suppose we haven't even met the Sandy Nanner squad for tonight, all 5 of them. We'll do that in a sec. This one's going to get hit over to Jack. Jack to Allison. Allison goes back to Jack in the middle. That one's going to get blocked on his kill attempt. A good block on a good attempt. Allison with a great set. Jack just not able to find the sand there to lose the point for the Sandy Nanners here. But let's meet the squad real quick. We had Aubrey in the back right here. Jack in the middle there. Max on the back left. Allison front left. And then Gavin is going to be on the front right here. Max is not able to get a good set of hands to that one after Allison's return attempt, and that ties the game up here at 4-4. 4 is early on in this one in Game 1. Served once again over to Jack. Jack goes to Gavin. Gavin for Aubrey. Aubrey has a little bit to do it there. She does it well. And that was going to fly and never really find its way over the net from the Pickle Spears side of things. To give the lead back to the Sandy Nanners now, as Gavin, a very reliable server for the Nanners, is up to go here. We'll see what he can do with his first ones in this game. Not sure what the conversation is about now, but serves up from Gavin, and it's gonna fall out of bounds there. Pickle Spears playing a little bit of an icing the kicker kind of game there, maybe getting Gavin off of his rhythm before he could make that serve there, because he's a very consistent and reliable server for the most part. Uncharacteristic mistake from him on the serve. Aubrey will send that thing straight over on the serve return. That spot in the middle is a very vacant gap and highly noticeable for the Sandy Nanners now, missing just that 6th person that would really fill the court up for them. You might not think that playing down a man makes any difference, but you can see just in the video here that being 1 short really changes up the dynamic of the teams. Allison's serve will fall short of the net. 6-6 now is the score in this one. Looking like a 5 on a die now as Gavin fills in the middle here. This one's going to get served over to Allison. Allison is just not equal to it. A great serve there from the person from Pickle Spears. I don't know any of these guys' names. I don't know these people. And that will give the Pickle Spears the lead again for the first time in a little while in this one. The serve this time is going to be up and over to Gavin. Gavin does well to get there, sends it straight over. Spike attempt here in the middle. It's going to fly far for Aubrey, and Aubrey just is not able to get a good hand in there. Jack trying to show off a little bit, not getting a touch on the ball. Well-placed hit there to put it in between Gavin and Aubrey in that spot that, like I was saying earlier, it's just left vacant by missing a 6th person. This one's going to go straight over to Allison. Allison as well to get that up to Max, who manages to land the point for the Sandy Nanners to bring it back to a 1-point deficit in this one for them. Allison and Max combining well there to win the point for the Nanners as he gets his first chance to serve in this one. Quick serving that thing straight away, and it's going to fall into the net there. A bunch of mistakes on the serves now for the Nanners. That is, I believe, maybe 3 out of the last 4 out of the last 5 of serves that just haven't gone according to plan. Max does well to make his way up to that ball. It's set up high for the Pickle Spears. This spike attempt is going to hit into the net now. And does that tie the game up at 9 apiece, or is that the score? I think I might have just missed the score change there. 8-9 is the score in this one. Jack getting his second chance to serve. A low serve will almost find the sand, and it's going to fly far over Max's head and fall. Unfortunately, we are down to 1 camera for the rest of the way in this one, so bear with me on that one. 8-10 now is the score for the Pickle Spears. I do believe that one just managed to find the spot over Max's head where Jack was not able to get to. Max is able to get to this one. Over to Aubrey. Again, Max is on that one. Man, took an eternity to fall, but the point will fall for the Sandy Nanners there. And it is still a 1-point game in this one as we enter the middle phase of this game here. This game is going to 21 here. The Sandy Nanners tend to play at a 25. The Pickle Spears tend to play at a 21. 21 was the agreed upon number here. Good return there, and that was a tough one to hit over, but he does well. Jack is going to have to set that thing far over. Set up once again here. This time the man has a chance to spike it down, and he's going to spike it down with the underside of his arm. No, that's the top side of his arms. He just hit it with the top side of his arms underhandedly into his own net, and the game is tied now at 10 apiece with Aubrey up to serve in this one. Does well to send that thing over. Gavin with a block attempt. It's not going to be there. That spot in the middle, once again targeted from the Pickle Spears, you'd have to say. You got to go where the space is. And 10-11 is the score. Still a 1-point deficit. Seems no matter how the game tends to go, the Sandy Nanners are 1 point behind as another serve from the lady in the blue will fall just short of the net once again. Tied up now. Gavin, let's see if he can shake off that first serve mistake here and go back to his usual form with this one. That looks a lot more like it. Shallow into the front row. Their little 1-2 play between the two of them. The spike attempt is over. And Allison, or I believe that was Aubrey. Allison was not able to get the second touch. Aubrey was not able to get a very good first touch. And it is a 1-point game now. The lead for the Pickle Spears once again. Serves up and underway. A nice knuckle action on that ball. Tough one to return to, especially with the placement. And to make it 11-13 now in this one. The Sandy Nanners are a little bit worried here, you'd think, early on. Probably not expecting to be down quite like this the way they are. Over to Allison. Allison does well to send that thing over with the backwards bump here. And Max has a chance to block. It's not over to him. Max with a chance to kill it. Gets blocked, sent straight back over there. Jack does well to get a touch. Max just sends that thing straight over on the line. It might have been in, might have been out. A good decision to play it, I'd think. Sent over now. Allison's there for Jack in the back row. Up to Max in the front. He's going to land the point there. That was Aubrey. My bad between the two of you. And that was a hard-earned point for the Sandy Nanners to give Allison her second chance to serve in this one. Let's see if this one can make it over the net this time. It does this time. This one goes up for Jack, who gets a one-handed attempt to send that thing straight over. Gavin now is equal to it. Up to Max, up to Jack, and they're gonna... Yeah, there it is. This Pickle Spears team is a real stickler for the rules, that's for sure. 12-14 is the score in this one. Since the ball was touched by Gavin, Max, and Jack, the 3 men of the Sandy Nanner team, this one, the point will fall for the Pickle Spears. And that toss is bad, and he chose to hit it anyway. Oh, well, that's as free of a point as you can get for the Sandy Nanner. So he tossed that thing behind his head. He could have just let it drop, but instead he chose to swing. Unfortunate there on that one. From him, and Max is now up to serve. Once again, another, similar to Gavin, very consistent server for the Sandy Nanners. And that's a tough ball to get to. She does well, and the kill attempt is going to hit into the sand on the Pickle Spear side of the sand to bring the game back to a tie, a stalemate at 14 now. This one's going to get hit almost straight back over. The one-hand attempt just falls short of the net now. Max has a chance to keep a run going here a little bit in this one. 15-14, the first Sandy Nanner lead in a little bit of time as far as I can remember, as Jack gets a block on that one. Well blocked by him to keep Max at the line serving here. Right where you want him, I'd say. Max in that back row is probably better than just about anybody else on the Sandy Nanner team. This one's going to get tipped up and sent over, and it's going to fall into a vacant spot of sand there. Jack and Allison having a little bit of a trouble communicating that one out. To make it a 1-point game, now this time the lead goes to the Sandy Nanners here but she is a decent server we've seen early on in this one. So let's see if she can get a bit of a run going for the Pickle Spears now as we enter. We're well within the final stage of the game here. This was a hard serve over to Max. Max does well. Jack sends that thing straight up and over, high ball, well returned, and then returned over in two, and that one's going to fly out of bounds there to give Jack a chance to serve now and potentially put the game away for the Sandy Nanners. We know how he can go on runs when he's up at the line serving. 17-15 as I once again not sure what the talk is about on the court, I should say. Well returned there from Jack's serve, and Gavin is going to get a hand to this one, catching the Pickle Spears out of position to find a great patch of sand to hit the ball into to make a 3-point lead now for the Nanners. Games can turn really quick in this league. A 3-point lead here can be a 3-point lead the other way in less than a minute, it feels like. That is another good return from the Pickle Spears here, and the backwards kill attempt, I don't know what you want to call that, is going to fall into the net here to make it a 4-point game now, 19-15. A little bit of a lead as the Sandy Nanners are starting to pull away in this one. Jack goes for a jump serve here, and that one's going to be hit not exactly the way he wanted to plan that one. Yeah, not a good hit there from Jack to make it a 16-19 game now. In a game this close, you'd think that you might just take the safe route and do what's been working, but he did not follow that approach there, and Allison hits it up right in the middle between Max and Gavin, and all of a sudden that 4-point lead is down to 2. We're in a close one here, 2 points away from victory, 2 points away from a tie game. A 2-point swing is very easy to come by. It could go either direction here. Max sets this thing up for Gavin. Gavin's going to send it over to the other side, slow down now, and it's a contest at the net. Aubrey is not going to get a good touch on it, and it's going to send it over and out of bounds. 19-18, it's 1 point now. 1 point is the difference here. Well, if you're a Sandy Nanner player right now, you can't let the nerves get to you. You just got to play your brand of volleyball. Gavin does well to get to that one. Max just sends it over after Gavin's touch. A little 1-2 there. This time it's going to go over to Gavin. To Max, who's going to kill it down then and there. 20-18. 1 point needed, or not 1 point needed. Okay, hey, counting's hard. Not everybody can count to 21. And that will be game for the Sandy Nanners against the Pickle Spears. A very close one in game 1 here. Very contrary to the earlier performance that we saw from the Sandy Nanners. Let's see how they can do in game 2 here. Perhaps maybe just now figuring out how to play with a 5-man. Good serve from Jack, sends that thing over. Allison's going to sit this up for Gavin, and Gavin's going to get a chance on it. Hits it shallow instead. Hard hit over. Max gets a hand to it. Jack manages to track back. A little bit of an agility workout for him as he's going to manage to find the line there. I know you couldn't see it from this camera, but that managed to find the line off of his attempt, and that's a lucky point for the Sandy Nanners. But hey, any point is a point here. Serve 2 now of the game is underway. Hard serve. Well hit by the man in the front row for the Pickle Spears. Gonna go straight back over. Max gets a better paw to it this time than last. Gavin is the guy to send it over. Go straight back over then. Allison to Max. It got to Max eventually. To Gavin, then to Max. I got a little bit ahead of myself there. Max goes over to Aubrey with it. Aubrey who sends it over. A long rally here in this one. It gets set up now, and this one's over to Jack. Jack is there. To Aubrey, to Gavin, who has a chance, and it's going to get kept alive now. Put that hand down, Jack. That point was not one, and it's going to be a Pickle Spears point, catching Max off guard on that one, and a spot he just simply could not dive to tie the game up at 1. All that for a 1-1 tie at this point. Hard-fought game earlier on here. Third serve of the game is up and underway in just a second here. Jack is going to be equal to it over to Max. Max just goes straight over the net with it. So it's going to get set up past the block of Gavin, and Max gets a one-hand touch that Jack just simply cannot get to. A little bit of a mess of touches there between Max and Gavin. Not much they could do there. If you're getting Gavin's spot, you have to go up for the block, and Max has to get a hand on that ball. It's coming straight to him. He gets a hand on it, just not the hand that you'd want if you're a Sandy Nanner fan. But that's tough. Not much you can do there. 1-2 now in this one. The lead is back with the Pickle Spears, as it was for the majority of game 1, I believe. Good return there from Jack, but it's going to be in a tough spot because, like before, the Sandy Nanners playing with 5. That gap in the middle is very obvious there, especially when the middle person tends to be their second hitter. That's who they want setting the ball for the most part. It's a 3-1 lead now for the Pickle Spears. This was going to get sent over to Gavin. Gavin as well to get there after Jack's bump was not exactly ideal. Aubrey goes up to Gavin now. Gavin manages to keep it alive. It's up again. Gavin now Gavin getting into it up at the net. This one's going to hit over to Max. Max does well to set that thing up. I thought it was for Aubrey, and Jack is not able to get a good hand on that ball. With the keeper experience, he's able to get a hand on it at all, but it just wasn't enough to send it back into the realm of play for his other Sandy Nanner teammates. And all of a sudden, we got a 3-point lead for the Pickle Spears early on in this one, starting to pull away early. The Nanners need to stop the bleeding in this one and just get out of this rotation, because it is not working for them, as Allison just leaves that ball alone for another Pickle Spear point. 5-1. This is an interesting way to start the game after taking the win in Game 1, but it is more than early on in this one. And like I said before, runs can happen very quickly and suddenly in this game. So all they need is a point and they'll be back at it. Gavin over to Aubrey. Goes up to Max in the middle, and Max is going to hit it down into his own net. And just like that, it is 1-6 in this one. 1-6 early on. Wow. At a certain point, though, the run just is not feasible anymore. 5 points is pushing it, but it is very early. This one's going to get sent over to Allison. Once again, Allison up to Gavin. Gavin goes for Max in the middle, and Max is not able to get a good kill attempt on it. The Pickle Spears have a chance now. Jack is equal to that one. Max just sends it straight over. That man in the front right is doing everything now, and that one gets left alone between Jack and Aubrey there. They couldn't figure out who was going to hit that ball, and it's a Brazil. It's a Brazil situation here in central, western, whatever you want to call it, Wisconsin now. 7-1. Serve is over to Jack. Jack does well to find Max in the middle, who just goes straight over with it. And up over to that man in the right once again. Jack gets 2 hands on it. Max now again over to Aubrey. Aubrey does well to send it over. Little 1-2 play here on that left side now, and it's going to ride along the net before falling down for a Sandy Nanner point. Finally getting out of that slump they were in there for a second. Let's see if Aubrey can get a little bit of a run going now for the Nanners, because they certainly need it. Down 5 early on in this one. It's a good serve to do it. Once again, that man in the front. And that one's going to get untouched by anybody, I do believe, and the point will fall for the Sandy Nanners. I could not tell. If Gavin touched that, I couldn't tell. If the other guy touched it, I couldn't tell. If nobody touched it, won't lie to you, as Aubrey gets another chance to serve in this one. Hit in the exact same spot over to that same guy. A little bit of a back set action here, and Aubrey gets caught out of position there. And that's going to be 3-8. Still a 5-point game in this one. The Sandy Nanners managed to stop the bleeding on that one, but they didn't cause a wound of their own to the other side here for the Pickle Spears. And they are sitting easy now. They just got to start landing some points, and the run is back underway. Over to Jack now for this one. Jack's going to send it over to Max, who manages to get there. A little bit of a run he had to make to go on it. Gavin's block attempt is not going to be good enough to send it down on the Pickle Spear side of the sand. He just has to catch the ball and toss it back over. 3-9. It's a 6 points. It's a 3 times multiplier in this one. Over to Jack once again, and it's going to fall straight through his hands. A typical touch there from Jack as a goalkeeper. I mean, you expect the hands to be a little bit more solid than that, but not that time, and he cannot end the run now from the Pickle Spears. They seem to be back into another one straight away here. Aubrey was just a brief little intermission there, and it's 3-10 early on. This time, the serve goes targeting Aubrey, and she's not able to get there. Granted, that was a great serve. That was going to find the line and just barely be in there, but Sandy Nanner's gotta start doing something here real quick, because whatever's up now is not working. Just gotta land a point here. Get Gavin on the line, maybe stop something. There's another one. Jack just can't get a hand to it. He can get a hand to it, but it's not a good set of hands. 3-12. It's a 4 times multiplier game in this one. He's getting coached up by his teammates here in this one. Clearly a little bit rattled just by the scoreboard, really. This time the serve goes over to Max. Max does well to get there. Allison's going to send this thing over to Jack, and Jack mistimes the jump. 3-13. Another mistake there from him. Is that the battle bus? I thought I just heard the battle bus there for a sec. Okay. 3-13. It's a 10-point game now in this one, as the Pickle Spears are in the middle phase of the game. Sandy Nanners are in the very beginning. Still, somehow, another serve over to Jack. Jack this time gets a good touch on it. A little bit slow to get up, though, again, as Gavin manages to hit it over after his touch. And that one's going to ride on the net and fall down into Sandy Nanner sand. Simply unlucky there on that one. A lot of these points have been from mistakes, but not that one. That one, there's just nothing any of the team could do. And it's 11 points now, the difference. Is they have apparently a very decent server up to serve for the Pickle Spears here. Still underway. This time it goes over to Jack. Jack hits it up to Gavin. Gavin goes far side with it. Max then hits the return on that one. Allison's going to go up. Max has to send it over as they all reset back into their positions here. Set over to Max once again. Max just goes straight over to the other side with it, trying to take matters into his own hands maybe. Sent over. Jack is going to go up to Gavin. Gavin doesn't get the greatest touch on it. It's a free ball for the other side here. The punch over as Jack tries to catch him unaware there. Maybe he's trying to take matters into his own hands, and he did. Just in the wrong way. He completely misses the ball, and that's going to be a Sandy Nanner loss here, basically. 3-15, a collapse we have not seen from this team in any of the games. This is just unheard of. Max is equal to that one. Allison goes straight back up to him, and Max is going to land the point finally for the... Hold on. Okay, they're calling that point back. Up 3-15, and they're being rule mongers about it. Okay, well, at least they're going to run the point back here. It is still 3-15. Let's see how the Sandy Nanners can respond to that one. Serve is up, and it's going to hit into the net.
Ball don't lie. Ball does not lie. Ball never lies.
4-15 is the score now in this one. Gavin has a chance to potentially put the Sandy Nanners back on track here, but it's going to take a miracle for them to win this game here. This is just over Max's block attempt. Max now has a chance to kill it. It gets well hit. Max was on that thing equally. Max gets a little too aggressive there with that one. Tries to kill it down. He wants the points. He's just going to send it out of bounds. And it is a 4-16 game. And the Pickle Spears are back to serving the rock again here now in this one. It's not over. It's not over, but it's certainly looking that way as Max is going to send this thing high and over to the other side in one touch. A chance to spike it now, and Aubrey is going to get a good hand on that. Max off the net. Aubrey once again. Great play there for Max to keep that thing alive off of the net. Max goes up for a block now and just play it away. Allison's there to it. Max gets another touch on it, and this time he will find the line to keep the Sandy Nanners alive in this one. 5-16. You know, once they get it within 10, maybe then anything's possible, but it really doesn't look good for them here. 5-16. Serve is up and short again from Allison. They're 12 points behind, and the Pickle Spears are 4 points away from victory here. A defeat all but assured for the Nanners in this one, but hey, the game's not over. That serve is going to be short. Max is a very good server for the Nanners here. He can do something. 6-17 now. What does Max with his tan lines try to cook up here? He's going to send it short into the net. Oh, another bad serve from the Nanners here. Similar trend to what they had in game 1. They just can't seem to get the ball over the net now. It's 6-18. It's 6-18 now. Allison is not able to get a good batch of hands or wrists or arms, whatever you want to call them, to that one. And it's 6-19. 13 points. I think it's the biggest difference of the game. Max is shaking his head there. And at this point, that's all he can do. That's all anybody the Sandy Nanners can do in this one, other than just try to forget about it. Goldfish memory, that thing. Move on to game 3 here. Gavin showing off his QB1 arm. You couldn't see it from this POV, but he was way back there. Serve is up and underway again to Allison. Allison gets a hand to it. Max gets another. It's just not enough. That ball hit something. I don't know what it hit, but it hit something.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry.
Jack is not QB1. QB non-moment right there. It's down 6-20. It's 14 points here. Can the Sandy Nanners at least get some nice points at the end here to maybe, you know, get some pride back in them? Switching formations here to a diamond, and that one's going to fall out of bounds. Max doing well to leave that one, and Jack now has a chance to serve. 7-20.
Score, sorry.
7-20. Jack has no ears. Cannot hear the score. He switches out for an underhand serve, trying to just play it safe. You can't lose on a serve at this point. That would just not be all right. Allison was nowhere near that play. Aubrey up to Gavin, and that's gonna fall for the Sandy Nanner point there on that one somehow. And what's she doing? All right, guys, we're drawing imaginary lines in the sand now, I guess. Okay, I think she was explaining why Max's kill from earlier was illegal. Using the argument that on an indoor court there's a line that you can't jump, you know, you can't jump when you're in front of it if you're a back row player, which I know, we know that, we're aware of it, but And that's going to be game for the Pickle Spears. 21-8 is the final score of game 2. It's all to play for still in game 3 here in this one, but man, momentum is more than on the Pickle Spears side of the court here. Whew. But hey, anything can happen here. It's a fresh slate. The Sandy Nanners won game 1. The Pickle Spears took game 2. Let's come at this with some rejuvenated energy here in this one. Serve is up for Max. Over to Aubrey. Gavin does not have a play on that one, and there was a rough touch there from the Pickle Spears side of things to give the Sandy Nanners their first point here, and a lead, a much-needed lead for their confidence, you'd think. Any lead is a lead after what happened to them last game. They need to bounce back from that one strongly here. 1-0 as Jack misses the serve now, switching it back up to the overhand approach from the safety of the underhand way he was doing it at the end of game 2. And comes back to bite him in that one. Tie game at 1 here in game 3. That's a good serve. Jack does well to get equal to it. Max sends it over. You know Max wanted to kill that thing. I believe he might have been scared of the rules catching up to him on that one, as Aubrey gets a chance to serve in this one. As the Sandy Nanners have a 2-1 lead. They might have... No, they haven't had a 2-1 lead in every single game. Just games 1 and 3 they've had that lead. Not in this one. Aubrey goes for that same serve she always does over to that same side as where she serves from. Allison is equal to it, and Jack has a chance to play it far side, and it's going to fall just barely out of bounds there. 2-2. You can tell the Sandy Nanners are clearly still a little bit frazzle-dazzled by that game from before and by the rules that seem to just being brought up on the spot here, as Allison is not able to send that thing over. And that gives the Pickle Spears their first lead of game 3 here. Let's hope they don't run away with it like they did in game 2. As the serve is up I was going to say this time she finally gets it over. I don't think she's had one successful serve this whole night, but I mean, it doesn't really matter when you're winning your games 21-8, so, you know, that can happen. 3-3 as Gavin is up to serve, sending this thing into the middle there. This one's going to be hit up and past the block of Max. He was there for it. He gets a touch on it, but it's not quite as good as it was in game 2 to give the point, or the potential for a point back even, to the Sandy Nanners. 3-4, though, is the score here in this one. Toss is once again behind the man, but this time he manages to send it over. Max is equal to it. The server manages to get up for that one. Jack is there, and between Aubrey and Allison, they just couldn't find a way to manage to hit that ball up over the net there after Jack's rough touch. Didn't exactly set them up for success there in that one. The Pickle Spears once again potentially building a lead here. Max calls Aubrey off of that one. The kill attempt is there, but Gavin is more than equal in the back row. Max now with a chance of his own. I don't know who hit that ball between the two of them. This one's going to get sent over now. Gavin is equal to it. Jack's just going to have to send that thing over, and he does. And that one's going to hit far side, this time over to Gavin. Up to Allison. Matt finds Max in the middle. Not quite. This time it's going to get hit over far, and that one's going to be just a little bit too far out of bounds there. To bring a point back to Sandy Nannerville, 4-5. They're only down by 1 in this one, but it sure feels like a lot more than that, as Allison is up to serve here in this one. As another serve of hers just doesn't find its way over. 4-6, as the Pickle Spears have one of their better servers up to the line here in this one. What can she do with her batch this time around? This one's going to fly over to Allison. Allison does well to get up to that one. Jack has a chance here, and he's going to hit it into the hand of the man going up for the block, but it's going to fall in a fortuitous way for the Sandy Nanners here. Max can bring him back to a tie game with a good serve here. We know he's capable of it. He goes with the safe underhand approach, and this time it's going to get tipped up over Jack's block attempt, and he jumps for it again and just misses it. Went straight over his head there. Mistimed the jump or just didn't jump high enough, one of the two. Regardless, it is a tie game here. The Sandy Nanners finally starting to get some momentum back in this one as Max is up to serve. A little 1-2 play there just over the block that Jack put up. He was very close to that one, and he cannot send the ball over the back bump. Just falls straight into the net there on that one. 6-7 now. The lead is back with the Pickle Spears side of the sand. Underhand serve is up, and it's going to fall short. 7s now is the score in this one. Jack is up to serve. What can he do now? Similar to Max, he is a potent server on his day, but After that last miss, he might not. Okay, there we go. That's back to form there from him. Little 1-2 play leaves the lady in the gray way off balance there. She does well to hit it over. Gavin just hits it straight over with force, and the Pickle Spears are simply not able to recover enough to land the ball over to the other side of the court. Point for the Sandy Nanners there, and their first lead in quite some time, I do believe. Or they might have had a 7-6 lead like a minute ago. I'm not sure. That one's going to hit straight out of bounds there. Allison does well to leave that thing alone. 9-7 now. Maybe the Sandy Nanners can just finally... They can finally go on a little bit of a run here. They need something. They need some momentum here. And Jack serving is a good way to do that after his last 2 successful ones. I'm not sure what the debate there is about, but... These two teams have talked to each other more than any other teams tonight, and their conversations have been riddled with hostility, to say the least. I just wish I could make out the gist of what they were saying. Agreeing upon 9-7 being the score was the last thing said there. I knew that. Max does well to set that thing up. Allison goes up for Gavin. Gavin has a chance, and he hits the sand there. Well played between him and Allison. Nice work from them to land the point for the Sandy Nanners. 10-7. Finally building a little bit of a lead here in this one. Can Jack keep it up with a serve here? This time it's going to hit the net, and it goes over. A lot of the net serves have been falling short today. Allison once again doing well to leave that thing. Good court vision from her and discipline to leave that ball alone. And it's a 4-point lead for the Nanners entering the middle phase of the game here. Can Jack keep up his serve streak? He can. This one's going to get set far over to the man on that left side. And it's going to... He does well to hit that thing over. Gavin tips it over instead this time. And that one's going to fly out of bounds, I believe. I think it was out of bounds. I am not sure. But the point went to the Nanners on the scoreboard. So 12-7 now is what it is in this one. Jack just got to keep on serving like he has been in this second set this time. This switches up the play entirely. Goes over to that right side of the court. And they managed to hit it over, giving Allison ample time to get underneath that ball. Max now has to just underhanded tip that thing over. Gavin with a chance, and he lands it with the nutmeg at the same time there. Well done from Gavin to land the kill. 13-7, almost double or nothing in this one right now. Jack just has to keep on serving. If he keeps serving, the Sandy Nanners will win the game, because that means the Pickle Spears didn't get a point. That's crazy. Gavin now with a chance. He's going to land that one there after it hits a couple hands, wrists, and arms, and falls out of bounds there. Double or nothing now. 14-7 is the score in this one. Oh, she got bumped with the ball. But hang on a second. We only have 40 seconds left in this video here. How does the game magically end at potentially 14-7 or 15-7 or 14-8? This one's going to get hit up. We'll see in a sec. And this time it's sent over there. Allison is equal to it. Max has a chance now to hit it. He does well to do it without jumping. It's a scramble for the ball, and it's going to be hit out of bounds to make it a 15-7 game here for this one. But wait, yeah, there's only 10 seconds left in the game right here on this one that I'm watching. What's up with that? I don't know. Let's see if Jack can get this serve off here real quick. Maybe not. And, well, that's where my camera died, guys. That managed to be a point off of that serve for the Sandy Nanners. So it was 16-7 that I can remember before the camera's fully cut off and we have no recording evidence after that. But the Sandy Nanners lost this game. So, yeah, take that however you will. Shambolic week for the Nanners. Comeback time big on the next one. You'll just wait and see.